So if everybody could please take their seats. We did have a fire alarm go off in the building, so those of you that evacuated, thank you for joining us. We'll be kicking off any minute now.
Right now.
Want to let you know, actually we'll kick off right now. How's that sound?
Yay!
Yeah, come on now. I just put a pot of coffee on, if anybody's in the mood for some coffee, a nice hot coffee. Now, we actually we have coolers on each side of the sidewalk, so if you are feeling a little thirsty, I don't blame you. Please be sure to get some ice cold water, or even put your hand up, and I'll just run around and hand it out. How's that sound? So hello, everyone. On behalf of the Morris County Board of County Commissioners, I thank everyone for joining us today at the Morris County Annual Memorial Day Observance. Our annual tradition will again include a robust ceremony with a presentation of medals to our local veterans, and later some hot dogs and refreshments. And as we begin, I ask that everyone stand as Chief Robert McNally of the Morris County Prosecutor's Office opens our event by playing Minstrel Boy on his pipes as the Morris County 102nd Basic Police Training Class Flag Detail, led by Chief Jack Ambrose, raises and lowers the colors. Please be seated. Thank you. All right. So before we introduce our MC today, I do just want to acknowledge a few special guests joining us. I'd like to personally acknowledge some guests coming all the way from Fort Lee, VFW Post 2342 today. We have Post Commander, Vietnam War Marines veteran, and Purple Heart recipient Tony Leone. We also have Vietnam Marine Corps veteran, recipient of 2 Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star Medal with V device, who turned 77 earlier this month, John Mack. He'll be the Grand Marshal in Fort Lee's Memorial Day Parade on Monday, but his most challenging assignment, I think, was stepfather to my wife. And last but certainly not least, we have with us today World War II Army veteran and recipient of the French Legion of Honor Medal for his participation in the liberation of France. He turns 98 in August, and if you want to guess how he got his name, please, a nice warm welcome for August Cacavone. But I'm sure they'll tell you that we're not here to recognize their sacrifices today, but to recognize the sacrifices of all veterans who served with them. So on that note, I'd like to introduce the person who will be leading the honors today, someone who has family members who have served and has spent many years herself serving the public. Please join me in welcoming a former presidential appointee and twice elected representative to Morris County, Commissioner Director Christine Myers.
Hello, everyone, and I apologize for kneeling on this chair. It wasn't a wound from the war or anything like that. It's just an old car accident. So, thank you again for joining us. We are so fortunate to gather for another year to properly honor the fallen members of our armed forces. We are delighted so many could be here. But before we go further, may I ask everyone to stand as Sheriff James Gannon leads us all in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please place your hand over your heart as we salute the greatest country on earth with our Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. Thank you, Sheriff Gannon. Please remain standing as the national anthem is performed by the Lakeview School of Denville Select Choir, led by vocal teacher Daniel Komorowski.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's bright glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Please be seated, and thank you, Mr. Komorowski and the Lakeview Choir. It's just terrific to have you back again to participate. It makes this event so very special. I would like now to introduce Father Thomas Falone, who will lead our invocation today. He is the pastor of St. Thomas More Roman Catholic Church, which serves Morris Township, Morristown, Madison, and the Madison communities. Thank you, Father Falone. You could come up now.
Commissioner. As Sheriff Gannon said, we're so blessed to have this, call this our home, this nation, and so we pray. God of power and mercy, author of truth, source of law, and ground of our very freedom, you destroy war and put down earthly pride, banish violence from our midst, wipe away our tears, protect our nation, guide all of those called to serve us as your sons and daughters. Keep in your mercy those men and women who have died in the cause of freedom. Bring them safely home to your kingdom of justice and peace. And we ask this, Father, in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Falone. We appreciate your prayer for our veterans and for joining us today. Before we move on, I want to acknowledge and thank some very special guests that have taken time out of their day to be with all of us. First, Senator Bucco, Anthony Bucco, Assemblywoman Ora Dunn, Administrator Dina Leary, Sheriff Jim Gannon and his leadership staff, Prosecutor Robert Carroll and his senior staff, Deputy County Clerk Anna McMahon, our county surrogate Heather Darling, and CCM President Dr. Tony Iacono and his staff. Representing Congressman Tom Kean today is Staff Assistant Nicholas Henry, And representing Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill is District Director Kelly Doucette. Of course, we have all of our commissioners assembled today. Deputy Director Stephen Shaw, Doug Cabana, Tom Mastrangelo, Typhoon Selen, Deborah Smith, and John Crickus, who himself was a U.S. Marine Corps veteran. Finally, we also are fortunate to have former freeholder Frank Drutzler, who was instrumental in starting our Memorial Day observance and initiating the medals we present today over 25 years ago. So we also want to wish him a happy birthday. So happy birthday, number 7. We come now to a portion of our annual observation when we look back on a fallen Morris County hero. Doing the honors this year is Deputy Director Commissioner Stephen Shaw. Commissioner, please come to the podium.
Thank you, Director. So, Morris County does not forget its heroes, especially those who have fallen in combat during military service. We have made it a tradition to look back on one fallen hero by name at each of our Memorial Day observances. This year, we look back on William Hedges Baker, a young, energetic Dover man who quit Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York, during his junior year to fight for his country during World War I. It was almost 4 years earlier, on June 28, 1914, that the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary catapulted Europe and eventually the world into the war to end all wars. William Baker, born in Wharton on December 20th, 1895, had grown up in Dover and was a graduate of Dover High School. He had a promising life and career in front of him when he left college on May 2nd, 1918, to enlist at Fort Oglethorpe in Georgia, where he was attached to the 26th Infantry. On July 20th of that year, less than 3 months after he joined the Army, Private Baker was shot dead by a German sharpshooter while attempting to retrieve injured comrades on the battlefield at Plassey, France. He was only 22 years old. Private Baker was one of more than 16 million people, soldiers and civilians alike, killed in World War I, where new military technologies and trench warfare led to unprecedented levels of carnage and horror before the Allied powers prevailed. Private Baker was originally buried in France, but he was returned home to Dover on May 10, 1921, for burial in the Orchard Street Cemetery, where his marker remains today. Many members of the American Legion Post 27 in Dover, named in honor of William Hedges Baker, attended his funeral, and on Memorial Day that year, a platoon of Marines fired 3 volleys over his grave. Private William Hedges Baker was posthumously awarded the Silver Star, one of the nation's highest military honors, and his name is memorialized on the Doughboy World War I monument that continues to grace Dover's Herd Park. I now ask everyone here to please join me in a moment of silence for Private William Hedges Baker and all of those lost in service to our great nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Shaw. Today, as we gather to commemorate the bravery and sacrifices of those who made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our great nation, it is also time for us to reflect on the profound importance of the service provided by all veterans in all of America's conflicts. My father, an only child and a veteran of World War II, and my father-in-law, a 3-tour veteran of Vietnam, spoke very little of their time in war and in combat. They did it to spare us what they had to endure. I can only imagine the suffering of those who lost their lives in the battle and those of you being honored today. While Memorial Day is a time to reflect on those who fell in battle, it also serves as an opportunity for us to be thankful to those who bravely served and returned home to us. We need you. We need your wisdom, especially in these troubled times. We need resilient role models to guide us, reminding us of how this nation was spawned by men and women who hold such a strong sense of patriotism and sacrifice that they put themselves in the path of danger for all of us. They didn't know. They just know they needed the country to be free, and they were willing to do anything for it. Your service is an inspiration to all of us to commit to public service, to volunteerism, to self-sacrifice. You epitomize the spirit of selflessness in defending our shared values and our liberties. As America nears 250 years of independence, we find ourselves challenged daily to teach the next generation that the liberties and comforts we and they take for granted in our society were not just given to us. They were fought for, and they came at a very heavy price. We will always need to defend our freedoms, not only from tyrants of many forms who could subjugate us, but also from neglect, the atrophy and decay of complacency about what America represents and our nation's leading role in this world. Among those serving now are 8 Morris County employees who deployed in recent weeks to serve our nation. We thank them. We pray for their well-being and for the families they left behind. To let them know we are waiting here for their safe return, 8 yellow ribbons have been affixed by the sheriff's officers and our building and grounds crew to a tree in the front of our courthouse. The ribbons will remain until each and every one of them returns home. Thank you and your family for the sacrifices you are making to protect us. Now let's introduce our keynote speaker, Derek Oates. He is a combat veteran from Morris County who served in the U.S. Army during Operation Iraqi Freedom. Derek graduated from Seton Hall Prep in 2002, only months after 9/11 terror attacks hit our nation. He was among the inspired young Americans who immediately enlisted to defend our nation. Joining the U.S. Army, he trained to be a member of the 82nd Airborne at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. In 2004, he deployed to Baghdad, Iraq, as an infantryman in this 82nd. During many convoys, he operated as a gunner on top of Humvees, and he was injured during those enemy excursions. For his service, Derek received several awards. Among them were the National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, Army Service Ribbon, and the Iraq Campaign Medal. Returning from active duty in 2006, he trained cadets in hand-to-hand combat at West Point. Derek transitioned from the Army to civilian life by participating in the Helmets to Hard Hats program and became a union carpenter and dock builder. Today, he owns Roofing Innovations, a construction company in East Hanover that seeks to employ other veterans. Derek is also a veteran ambassador for Morris Habitat for Humanity and volunteers with Jersey Pits Rescue. Despite his achievements, Derek knows his 9-year-old daughter, Olivia, is his proudest accomplishment. Notably, he is the son of proud father Bart Oakes, a 5-time Pro Bowl center for the New York Giants, who unfortunately can't be with us today, but we know he's there. He's great. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Derek Oates.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for this Memorial Day commemoration. I'm honored to have the opportunity to speak with you on this day of remembrance, as we pay our respects to those who made the ultimate sacrifice in order for us to enjoy the privileges and freedoms this great nation has to offer. We are blessed to have a rich heritage of military service, especially during the struggle for independence. all starting with our early brave Morris County residents who stood up in the face of tyranny and fought for a better way of life. We owe a debt of gratitude not only to them, but to every soldier across the generations of conflicts. Those who held sacred our early settlers' belief in a better way of life. The greatest tribute we can pay to those who lost their lives during combat is to support those who are still with us today. My journey led me to military service following the events of 9/11. It was on that day, as a junior in high school, something greater than myself called to me. And I knew the next chapter in my life was to serve this country. Upon my return from service, I struggled. I seriously struggled making the transition into civilian life. One of the only reasons I'm here with you today, while many of my brothers and sisters are not, is because of the support I received. The outpour of love and guidance I experienced was truly incredible. From family, friends, and also from members of our close-knit community of Morris County. I received phone calls, texts, in-person meetings, and personal letters from current and former leaders, residents, and fellow neighbors of this great community. For this reason, amongst many others, is why I love Morris County. But I realize how blessed I am, because this is not the case with many returning vets. It's up to us to reach out with a helping hand. An hour of service or words of encouragement. It's this service of greater good, the profound sense of community, that makes fighting for our country all worth it. This Memorial Day, let's pay homage to those who have gone before by helping those who still need us. Thank you, and God bless this country.
Thank you, Mr. Oates. I had the pleasure of meeting Derek a few months ago and was incredibly impressed with what you just witnessed. His commitment to serving other veterans. Knowing the helping hand that he received, he wanted to give it back. So this roofing company seeks to employ veterans. But his shirt, if you read it, it's for a veteran build for Habitat for Humanity. His hope is to bring veterans out of the woodwork who may be reticent to ask for help, the help they so rightly deserve. So hopefully it works. Tell us what you need. Okay. We now will turn to our local veterans and their families who are gathered here today as we present our Morris County Distinguished Military Service Medals to 14 veterans who served honorably in our armed forces. The Morris County Board of County Commissioners has traditionally used the occasion of Memorial Day observance to honor our local veterans by presenting them with the Morris County Distinguished Military Service Medal. These medals are unique to Morris County, although copied in many ways. We began issuing them in 1999 to honor World War II veterans on the 55th anniversary of the 1944 D-Day invasion and the liberation of France from Nazi occupation. We expanded the medals to include the Vietnam and Korea conflicts, as well as general service during other conflicts. And last year marked the unveiling of new medals for Iraq and Afghanistan. These honors are presented to veterans who served honorably and who have helped to make our nation and Morris County a better and safe place to live. As the commissioners individually present the Distinguished Military Service Medals, State Senator Anthony Bucco and Assemblywoman Ora Dunn will simultaneously present joint Senate Assembly resolutions to each veteran. Additionally, Kelly Doucette of Congressman Sherrill's office and Nicholas Henry of Congressman Kane's office will present certificates of honor from their offices. In the interest of honoring all vets and ensuring no one becomes too dehydrated at this time from thirst, please note that the veterans' bios have been abridged. We encourage everyone to visit our website online to read more about the detailed backgrounds and accomplishments of our today's honorees. At this time, I would like to call our first veteran to receive honors. Today, Kimberly S. Dean of Chester Township. Presenting this first Distinguished Service Medal and Certificate of Authentication is Commissioner and U.S. Marine Corps veteran John Krickus. Okay. Kimberly Dean served with the U.S. Army from 1998 until 2023 in Operation Enduring Freedom and Iraqi Freedom. She earned several medals, including the Meritorious Service Medal and the Army Commendation Medal 101-110 LC. Throughout her 25 years in service, Ms. Dean held numerous roles. Among them, she was first detachment commander for the U.S. Army Office of the Surgeon General, the officer in charge of Medical Recruitment Command, and the executive officer for a field medical hospital. She holds a bachelor's degree in Health Services Administration from the University of Detroit, a master's degree in education from the University of Cambridge, and a doctorate in education from Virginia State University. Since retiring from the Army last July, Dr. Dean has shifted her focus to educational administration, guiding and inspiring our community's youth. In her personal life, she is the First Lady of the Visions of God and Family Worship Church, supporting her husband, the senior pastor. She is also a proud mother of 5 children. Congratulations on your retirement, Dr. Dean, and thank you for your service. Next is Brian Stanislaus. Presenting this medal is also Commissioner John Krickus. Brian Stanislaus is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who served from 1978 to 1985 during the invasion of Grenada. For his service, he earned the Rifle Expert Badge, Good Conduct Medal, Pistol Sharpshooter Badge, Pistol Marksmanship Badge, and the Meritorious Mast. Post-military, he earned a master's degree in Information Assurance, and he has held key roles in business resiliency and cybersecurity at Fortune 100 companies. He is currently pursuing a doctoral degree in national security. He volunteers his time advising others on cloud technology and is a Veterans League Advisory Committee member who helps veterans transition to corporate careers. In his spare time, he enjoys home renovation, gardening, and sailing. Thank you, Mr. Stanislaus, for your service, and congratulations. Now move on. Okay. Our next medal will be presented by Commissioner Deborah Smith. Sadly, veteran Anthony Thomas Donadio Jr. of Randolph Township, whose military service spanned 24 years, cannot be here with us today. He passed away on June 29, 2022. Accepting his honors today is his daughter, Gina. Anthony Donadio served in the U.S. Army from 1954 to 1978 during the Korean and Vietnam Wars and was honorably discharged as a lieutenant colonel. After service, he remained active in the veterans community through the American Legion and earned a degree in chemistry from the Manhattan College and founded 2 businesses. He enjoyed growing orchards, fishing in the Florida Keys, and took up collecting as a hobby with his son. We thank the Donadio family for his service and for being here to accept his honors today. Our next honoree is Fabio Escobar of Randolph Township. Commissioner Deborah Smith will remain to present this medal. Is he coming? Mr. Escobar is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who served from 2015 to 2016 as an E3 squad leadership in the Lima Company and Camp Geiger, North Carolina. For his service, he received the National Defense Service Medal and the Sharpshooter Qualification Badge. Currently, he works for Mercedes-Benz in Morristown and is studying for a degree in advertising. He volunteers for the New Smile for Veterans program, providing free dental care to veterans and encourages teenagers who need direction in life to consider military service. Thank you for your service, Mr. Escobar, and congratulations. Commissioner Typhoon Selen will present to our next honoree. Susan Froelich, Mayor of Chatham Borough. Sergeant Froelich, Mayor, served in the U.S. Army Reserves from 1988 to 1996, enlisting after earning her bachelor's degree in education. She remained a non-commissioned officer, serving as a soldier combat medic and certified Army trainer in her unit. As a squad leader, Ms. Mayer tutored fellow soldiers to obtain their GEDs, and during Operations Desert Shield, she tested field gear and instructed ROTC and first aid classes. She earned an Army Achievement Medal, as well as several commendation letters for her leadership roles in preparing soldiers' readiness and supporting fellow units within her battalion. After her service, Ms. Mayer earned a master's degree in educational administration and held several leadership roles in education. She is currently employed by the school district of the Chathams. She has also served on the emergency response team of Chatham Borough, where she has lived for over 20 years, raising 3 children together with her husband. Congratulations, Susan, and thank you for all your service. Our next veteran to be honored is Mateo Osorio of Madison Borough. Presenting his medal is Commissioner Selen. Mr. Osorio is a U.S. Marine Corps veteran who served from 2011 to 2015 during Operation Enduring Freedom. He deployed with the 15th and 31st Marine Expeditionary Units and earned multiple awards, including the Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal and the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Medal. After his military service, he graduated from Columbia University and became a financial analyst in investment banking. Mr. Osorio is also a dedicated father of 3 children. He actually had to postpone his honors at Veterans Day, having welcomed their new baby last year. Thank you for your service and congratulations, Mateo. Commissioner Deputy Director Stephen Shaw will present the next Distinguished Service Medal and a certificate of authentication. Our next veteran is Frank Regilio of East Hanover. Frank is a U.S. Navy veteran who served from 1980 to 1986, including a tour in Beirut, Lebanon, with the multinational peacekeeping force. He received the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon, Meritorious Unit Commendation, Navy Unit Commendation, and the Navy Expeditionary Medal. After his service, he attended the Culinary Institute of America and became a chef, owning several restaurants and has cooked for dignitaries, including the King of Norway. Frank volunteers with Morris County Parks, Morris Habitat for Humanity, Restore, and the Amputee Coalition. He is a dedicated husband to wife Marcia and proud father to sons Frankie and Michael. In his free time, he enjoys painting, paranormal investigations, and traveling. Thank you for your service, sir, and congratulations. Our next veteran is Bill Lee of Roxbury Township. Okay. Bill is a Korean War veteran who served in the U.S. Army from 1954 to 1956 and then in the reserves for 6 years, earning the Good Conduct Medal. In civilian life, he worked for Westinghouse, the U.S. Postal Service, and Picatinny Arsenal. He is an active member of the Forever Young Seniors in Roxbury and has volunteered with the Heightened Independence and Progress Center and the Honolulu Marathon. Bill enjoys traveling, gardening, walking, fishing, and keeping up with the news. Thank you for your service, and congratulations, Mr. Lee. Let's go. Right. Commissioner Tom Estrangelo will present honors to our next veteran. Okay. Robert J. McDonald of Lincoln Park. Mr. McDonald served with the U.S. Army from 1966 to 68 during the Vietnam War, earning the National Defense Medal, Vietnam Service Medal, Vietnam Campaign Medal, and Bronze Service Star. As a first lieutenant with the 337th Signal Company, he helped deploy the troposcatter, however you say that, microwave communication system. He holds degrees in electrical engineering and engineering management and spent many years working in the telecommunications industry, focused on regulatory policy. He later founded a mediation company that mediated nearly 800 civil cases. In retirement, he volunteers as a mediator with municipal courts in Morris County and is active in veterans organizations, including Welcome Home Veterans of New Jersey, American Legion Post 59 in Morristown, and VFW Post 3401 in Morris Plains. Happily married to Sandy for 25 years, he enjoys spending time with their 6 children and 11 grandchildren, in addition to traveling, gardening, golf, and playing chess online. Congratulations, Mr. McDonald, and thank you for your service. Our next honoree is Peter Cullen of Dover. Presenting the honor is Commissioner Mastrangelo. Mr. Cullen is a U.S. Army veteran who served in Vietnam from 1966 to 1969, earning several medals, including the Combat Infantry Badge and the Vietnam Service Medal. Post-service, he worked as a Disabled Veterans Outreach Program interviewer and completed training at the National Veterans Training Institute. He holds degrees from the County College of Morris and Seton Hall University. Peter is active in veterans organizations, which includes serving as chaplain for American Legion Post 27 and volunteering for Stand Down of North Jersey. He enjoys studying history, hiking, travel, classic films, and reading, and served as Sergeant-at-Arms for the Irish American Association of Northwest New Jersey. Thank you for your service, and congratulations, Mr. Cullen. Commissioner Doug Cabana will present the next honor. We welcome Wayne F. Henderson of Madison Borough. Wayne Henderson is a decorated U.S. Marine Corps veteran, Vietnam veteran who served from 1964 to 1972. As a second lieutenant, he led multiple combat missions in Vietnam, training local militias and flying aerial observer missions. For his actions during deployment, Wayne was awarded the Bronze Star Medal with a Combat V for Valor. A Purdue University graduate, he was the first freshman drill captain of the national champion Purdue drill team, which was personally invited by President Kennedy to perform at the White House in 1961. After service, he commanded a Marine Reserve unit and won the General Clifton Cates Award. Wayne went on to have a successful career at AT&T and briefly retired before founding a high-tech consulting company, Capital Dynamics International, which expanded internet access to millions of unserved families globally. Today, Mr. Henderson coaches executives, mentors veterans at Fairleigh Dickinson University, and is active in the Madison Patriotic Celebrations Committee. He's a certified scuba master diver. He enjoys diving at least 2 weeks out of every year with his wife, Stacy, and is the proud father of his children, Kevin, Air Force veteran, and Riley, a school librarian. Oh, and he's still hitting the ski slopes at 82. Congratulations, Captain Henderson. Thank you for your service. Our next honoree is Elihu Kaufman of Long Hill Township. Presenting his medal will be Commissioner Cabana. Mr. Kaufman is a Vietnam veteran who served in the U.S. Navy from June 1970 to October 1971, with an additional 3.5 years in the reserves. He is the recipient of the National Defense Service Medal and Meritorious Unit Commendation. During his service, he worked in computer operations aboard ships, and overall, he has 50 years of experience in IT working for many Fortune 500 companies, including AT&T, Maersk, and IBM. Mr. Kaufman volunteers as an election poll worker in Morris County and in Somerset. He's also passionate about fitness and works out every day, you can tell. When he's not running the polls, he's running somewhere. In his quest to become healthier, he managed to lose 75 pounds over 2 years. Wow. Congratulations, Mr. Kaufman, and thank you for your service. I now have the privilege of presenting the next medal. Commissioner Shaw, will you please do the honor of reading his biography?
Certainly, Director. Our final veteran, Robert W. Smith of Florham Park, is being honored posthumously today. Commissioner Director Myers will present the medal to the veteran's wife, Inez. Mr. Smith was a distinguished World War II veteran who served as a pilot of the B-17 Flying Fortress with the 8th Army Air Force from 1944 to 1945. He flew 35 combat missions over northern France, Germany, and the Balkans, earning accolades including the Distinguished Flying Cross, the Air Medal with 5 oak leaf clusters, and the European African Middle East Campaign Medal. In 1996, he also was recognized for his World War II service by then Russian President Boris Yeltsin. After the war, Mr. Smith excelled academically, graduating cum laude with a Bachelor of Science from Syracuse University and cum laude with a Juris Doctor degree from Seton Hall Law School. He went on to hold positions as Senior Vice President and Chief Pension Officer at Prudential Insurance Company and later served as Business Administrator for the City of Newark. Deeply involved in his community, Smith served as Chairman and Trustee for the Paper Mill Playhouse, assisted senior citizens with tax returns, and conducted studies for the Montclair Library in Morris County. He also continued his passion for flying, piloting Cessna planes, and he enjoyed boating and fishing at the Jersey Shore. Robert Smith was a devoted father to two sons, Jeffrey and Timothy, who have predeceased him, prior to his passing on March 13th of 2013. We thank you today, Inez, for your husband's service to our country. He is a true American hero. I will now ask everyone to please rise and join me in applauding all of our heroes today. Thank you for your service and sacrifices. I will now turn the podium back to our director.
At this time, we will now turn our program again to the courthouse lawn, where a wreath will be placed at the base of our courthouse flagpole to honor our fallen soldiers. I ask everyone to stand. Doing the honors will be veterans Dominic Sable, Norris Otetmov, both of whom are vice commanders for American Legion Post 59 in Morristown. This closes our official ceremony. Thank you for attending. But please stay to enjoy some hot dogs and refreshments that are available behind the seating. Don't be shy, we have plenty. Thank you, Warden Chris Klein, for today's culinary delights. I also want to take a final minute to thank all of our veterans and a few of the people who made today special. Michael Del Vecchio for lending your bugling talents to play taps for us today. Chief McNally, your bagpipes are always appreciated, as are the beautiful voices of Denville's Lakeview School Choir. Mike Drury and the Buildings and Grounds team, thank you for making the courthouse grounds beautiful and setting up our ceremony. Thank you to everyone at the Sheriff's Office, especially Captain Walter Brawa and Chief Jack Ambrose for leading the cadet detail and the 21-gun salute. And a very special thanks to everyone in our Veteran Services Office. Christine Hellier, Director, Assistant Director, Shauna Bailey, VSOs Jessica Tomalo, Andrew Cornwallis, Jason Leffler, Clerk Lisa Ostella, Juan Lopez. Last but not least, a big thanks to the County Administration and Communications Director Vince Vitale for coordinating this tribute annually. Have a good afternoon. God bless you, and God bless America.
Veterans that receive medals can come up.
Could the veterans who received medals please come forward so we can get a group picture? Thank you.